Hi, this is Nick Michalak. I am the sole crew member on this episode. It was great getting this thing started way back 2.5 years ago. And look where it's gotten me now. Well, lots of problems along the way, but it started out with problems. I have a curse. This stuff was not day one of production. Scene 2 was day one, but day one of production, I have a curse that something is always going to go wrong. And I'll get into that later, but this scene was the second night of shooting, and I really like this whole episode. I think all three actors do a tremendous job. I actually think that this is the best character I've given Nick Deitch. I think this is something that is really just allows him to just really cut loose and just do all kinds of entertaining madness and everything. I mean, he can be lethal and intimidating, but also this very kind of whacked out type of character that's just very charismatic and everything. It's a way different thing from when you're working on The Fixer, being Vic Simmons, who's kind of downtrodden, depressed guy with emotional baggage and everything. In this, Maynard is just this kind of cutthroat guy who just loves the adrenaline rush of his job. And casting Preston was just kind of a happenstance thing. I was originally going for a younger actor, someone Nick had worked with before, but didn't work out with him. And I went ahead and contacted Preston, and he was game for it. We talked a little bit about Preston's likes to kind of do a sit down, just kind of get on the phone and just talk little details about the character, just so he gets a little background, just kind of figure out who this guy is, where he came from. And with this scene, it helps to get a little kind of get into the mindset a little bit, just kind of understand where Garrison is coming from, why he stole from the syndicate, and who he is, what he really does. He more or less is just kind of like a financial guy, maybe a lawyer or accountant or someone just that handles the books, and they can skim a little off the top or whatnot without anyone usually noticing, but obviously they do find out about what he's been doing, and they hire Maynard here to eliminate him. And I really liked what I did with the character of Maynard, just making him very unpredictable. That you think that, yeah, he's sitting here in the car with a gun, you think he's just going to shoot the guy in the back and everything, but no, he turns it all around. He turns it around where it's like the guy's dead before he even knows it. Maynard doesn't have to go through the means like Graham would go, who is all about the point blank kill and everything, or anything like that. He's just much more crafty, much more cunning, but he's also a guy who just enjoys he enjoys the chase more than the catch. He likes the pursuit of things instead of just the actual payoff. And Preston and Nick just worked out fantastically here. I just really like these two guys working together, and I don't think they had shared any scenes in this one production, but I know they were both cast in a film called Thinking Speed, which I've seen a trailer for. It looks very kind of psychedelic stuff, but I would suggest just looking that up on YouTube. It's a very interesting trailer, and Nick's in the trailer heavily. I'd never seen Preston in any of the trailers, but they were both cast in that production. And so now we're on day one of production, where everything, I was a mad dash type of night, because I had to drive up to my sister's place. It was about an hour away. I had to try and make a couple stops along the way to try and find a couple little pieces of equipment to make the audio setup work, which the microphone, which I'm using right now for this commentary, was picking up way too much echo throughout the whole thing, throughout the whole room, and it was not working out. So partway through the shoot, I had to switch to another microphone, and there was all kinds of weird nonsense going on that I couldn't. That put me 45 minutes behind schedule before the actors even showed up. So I was in this mad dash to get everything set up, light all this stuff with everything I had, and just I'm proud of the lighting job I did on this. I think it's very moody, atmospheric and everything, and doing the post-production, blue tinge, blue cast and everything really kind of sets the tone right. And I had Nick and Laura do we got together maybe about a week prior to do just kind of rehearsal, just run through everything, just talk through everything. And I think it really shows through. Don't always have the luxury of doing rehearsals, but in this, it really worked out. I really wanted to get these two together because they hadn't worked together before, and I just wanted to make sure that they had sparked that chemistry, and I think they really did.
Not only did I trump a rival hitter by taking out his own mark.
And when you're watching this part of the scene where he's talking about trumping a rival hitter and everything, that is laying the seeds for something on later on down the line in the series. The series is written in a way where little pieces of information are dropped in here and there and everywhere that get paid off in the latter end of the series and everything. So every little thing he's saying about where he's been, what he's done, it pays off. It develops into something else. It develops into a motivation for someone else doing something, whatnot. So it's very interesting. I'm not going to spoil anything for you because I really want you to experience this series for when it actually gets fully finished and everything. But I just love the whole idea of this thing where there's just betrayal upon betrayal, and you can't trust anyone at all. That you're dealing with all these shady criminals and everything, these killers, and you can't trust anyone too far. But the big hitch of this episode here, this whole thing between Maynard and Vanessa, is that Maynard's known all along. He figured it out from the start that she was someone hired to kill him and get in close and all that kind of stuff. But he played along with it all the way. He wanted to see where does it go. He did, like I said, he's guy that likes the chase more than the catch. He wants to play things out in a certain way just to see how things. See where they go. He's trying to figure things out. He likes to deduce things a little bit. He likes to work things out. He likes to see how far an enemy's going to go, how far they are looking to go to eliminate him or whatnot. He just wants to see how all these things get put together, who's scheming against them, how it works out, and just kind of like. Also prove his superiority. He has a superiority complex. He wants to be. He believes in being the best. That it's not worth doing it if he's not going to be the best at it, and he wants to prove it every single time. Every single time he goes out and does a job or goes up against an adversary, he wants to prove himself as being the best. And I think this episode sets that remarkably well through Nick's performance and everything that Laura and Preston do, and I'm very pleased with how I shot everything. Being the one-man crew on this thing, I show up in these credits about like 5 times. But I also liked what I came up with for the end titles here. Just this kind of flash frame effect that just makes it a little more interesting. It's just not just text on a screen. It's got some motion. It's got some interesting stuff. That just kind of like, hey, that looks cool. I'll zip through this and just see this nice title design and everything. And Kevin MacLeod is a guy who provides all his music compositions online for free through Creative Commons licenses, so that's why you'll see his name pop up in practically everything I do, because he's got a lot of great music that he doesn't charge anyone to use, so that's the way it goes for me. But first episode, Kill Shot. I love it. Hope you do too.